Hey Pisces, it's Jen here from tarotspirit.net. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing a summer Lovin reading for you. Thanks for stopping by. All my information's down below. If you want a personal reading, I still have a reading sale going on. Having a blast connecting with you guys. The lighting might be a little funky. I'm outside and the sun's coming up. I had to put up another umbrella. But if I face the other way, you'll just be looking at the side of my house. So this is much prettier. All right, let's see what's going on. These tend to be geared more towards single and dating people, but not exclusively. Okay. The Emperor. Taking charge. Wow, the Magician. Had some pretty strong cards coming out for most of the signs. So watch your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Sometimes your Moon and Venus can be more, relate more to your love life. Not always, but. The Tower. I like the Tower in relationships readings because it shows when there is a false relationship. So people not being honest or forthright. Just I don't want to say it. Sorry, I'm a little tongue-tied all of a sudden. It just it shows a relationship that isn't built to last. And the sooner you learn that, the better, right? Because otherwise you get in 7, 10, 15 years and all of a sudden it comes crashing down. Wouldn't you have wanted to know that ahead of time, and instead of putting all this time and energy into something that wasn't going to last? Now, it's a little bit tough because if you have someone that's dishonest, you know, that there's only so much you can do if someone's not being honest with you, and that does happen. But lots of times people get into relationships because they're at a certain age, especially women, right? We do that. And we try, and it's not like we're thinking, but this isn't going to work, but we may be settling or making excuses because the thought of starting over is really scary. And you think, oh, I'm mature, right? That not everything's going to be perfect. I need to compromise. But then sometimes it gets to the point where you've compromised to the point where you're the only one doing the compromising, and you're like, oh my gosh, this isn't going to work. So that happens. We're human. We can't foresee how everything's going to go. But I think you're really taking a look at all of that. You're taking a look at your past relationships, what you've looked for in a partner, what has worked, what hasn't, and really doing some soul searching and figuring out, like, I'm going to change how I communicate and navigate, present myself, how I am in relationships moving forward. One good way is to judge a relationship is this Two of Wands is energy, and how much energy you're putting into the relationship versus the other person, if being with that person drains your energy or restores your energy. And of course, not every relationship is perfectly balanced all the time. But if the person is consistently draining your energy, or feel like you're working on it way harder and more than they are, that can be an indication of whether the relationship is sustainable or not. So I feel like that's in the past. We have the 4 and 5 of Cups that you are sort of reflecting on, or maybe a little bit afraid of moving forward in new relationships because in the past you've put your heart and soul into it, and and it hasn't worked out. The bottom of the deck is this Five of Pentacles. You may have stayed in a relationship because of finances, because it's very difficult to live in this world with one income, and so no judgment there. We find ourselves sort of trapped even. But I feel like, so with having been in a tower type relationship before, you're a little hesitant to put yourself out there. And something to really think about, to really look into, even research, study, listen to, get some self-help books, even go to a therapist and talk things out, and do your research about how sort of hanging on to past things and bringing past experiences and sort of putting that story into a new relationship or your dating life now, and trying to learn to let that go, because each new person is completely new. So we have to be careful, and they bring their own baggage, right, as well. So really sort of decluttering is what comes to mind. I think that's a sort of a popular catchphrase, but decluttering our thoughts and feelings and knee-jerk reactions and maybe bad habits even that we learned from a relationship in the past that didn't go very well, and make sure that we've really dealt with that and cleaned that baggage, gotten rid of that baggage before we move forward into a new relationship. So we're coming in, really clean and healthy for the new person. You have the Magician. So the Magician is really about, you can have that great relationship. You can, and some people find it really early in life, and that's great, and some people find it later in life after they've gone through some tower experiences and learned some lessons, and sometimes that makes it, even sweeter. But not settling, like I was talking about before, because you just don't have faith that it's out there, or there's a difference between, the perfect love doesn't exist, and settling because you don't want to be single and wait. You know what I'm saying? Looking for a more balanced relationship. What does this card say? I haven't been reading it, but this one caught my eye. This is the Temperance card. Taking everyone's input into consideration, merging viewpoints to create a better solution. Take your time, there's no need to rush. So that's what's really, take your time, there's no need to rush. Date, get to know people. Even if you're maybe started dating someone for 9 months and all of a sudden you're like, you know what, this isn't going to work. Having the courage and maturity to walk away and not feeling like you have to stay because you would put so much energy in, or you're afraid of hurting someone's feelings. Because in the long run, if someone stayed with you and then you find out 5 years later they really weren't into it the last 3 years, you'd be like, thanks for wasting my time, asshole, for 3 years. So don't, even though in the moment people may paint you as the bad guy and be really mad, if you really think about the big picture, yep, people's feelings are going to get hurt, but in the long run, you're doing the right thing because you don't want to string anyone along. So I feel like this summer, this isn't a very sexy reading, I'm sorry, that this summer is going to be about sort of healing and preparing and letting go of old experiences and sort of letting go of the negative parts and taking all the wisdom so you can move forward in new relationships with a really clear idea of what you want. This to me is a get online, do some online dating, meeting people via the internet. But this page is also meeting people through at school, joining a club, a meetup for something you like. Um, I was thinking they have this like hiking and beer drinking group where like you go out for a hike and then like stop somewhere and try some local brews. Vermont has a lot of microbreweries. So, maybe like have I done it? No. But like that would be something that I should do, joining a running group, whatever you want to do. And even if you think, well, the thing I'm into, maybe you're like if you're a woman and you like to knit or something, you're thinking, guys don't knit. How am I going to, you're into guys. Guys don't knit. How am I going to meet a guy? But you might meet uh, someone at the knitting place who has a brother and they introduce you, something like that. So it can still work out. But it's like, go out and do your thing, really deal with your baggage, and date and don't let this past tower experience keep you sheltered or keep you have so much power over you that you're afraid to open up again. Okay. So again, sorry, not the sexiest reading, but I think you're going to be in a really ready as the end of the summer comes around for opening up to something new and real and sustainable. All right, Pisces, take care. Bye.